Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video we're going to talk a little bit of CCW, concealed carry, and in this particular case, well, how do you feel about the fanny pack? For me, this is something that, quite frankly, I don't have a whole lot of experience with, and not when it comes to CCW. Now, here in my hands, this is the Vanquest Dendrite. A beautiful option, very nicely done, but this is CCW compatible. Now, for me, again, I don't have a ton of experience carrying off body like this. I typically am carrying directly on my person, typically appendix style, but here the ability to actually carry a firearm off of your body and in this little pack. So with that, I'm really excited because the beautiful thing about running a channel, quite frankly, is, well, I get the benefit of all your great experience. So if I put something out here where I don't have quite the same experience, but I reach out to all of you, well, guess what? We get a whole bunch of great tips and tricks, a lot of great ideas in the comments, and all the experience that comes in this awesome industry, but more importantly, this awesome community with all of you. So with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Vanquest who did provide this for review. And so when it comes to off-body carry, there are a ton of different products, a ton of different brands, but I do find that Vanquest does a phenomenal job and really does think through all of the details. Now again, here this is, I guess, and I called it a fanny pack. I'm just giving it a hard time. This is more, for me, like a sling bag. I'm gonna carry this across my chest, and I'm basically going to, and I say carry my daily essentials, some basic things that I need. Now, where it really came into play for me was traveling. I thought this was an absolutely beautiful way to carry some good gear with me while I was traveling. I did use this at length, actually on my trip to SHOT Show, and I had all my essentials in here, and especially getting on and off of the plane, having all the things that I needed, my IDs, my ticket, all the little things that you need while you're at your seat. It worked out very well to have a very slim package, something that was small and didn't take up a ton of space. But this Dendrite here, beautiful. Now this is in Vanquest's Urban series, and they do have a couple of different sizes. So this one here is the larger of the two. So this is the Dendrite large sling bag. You can find more details directly on Vanquest's website. They do a nice job with their overall presentation and the information that they make available. But generally speaking, this has a 3.8 liter capacity. Overall dimensions of 6.5 by 10.75 by 3 inches. This is definitely a beautiful construction. It's made of a gorgeous Cordura nylon. And that is one thing that Vanquest does very well. They use name brand Cordura nylon. In this case, 500 denier Cordura. Now they also have their urban blend. So if you notice, they have more of a heathered design, like a heathered fabric. That is actually what they call the urban blend. And the urban blend having like a polyurethane coating, but this one here, just for me, black multicam is my jam, and I absolutely love having it. It's just gorgeous. Now, the nice thing about Vanquest, and if you've been following along, you do realize they do a nice high-vis interior, and their organization is second to none. So beautiful subdivided interior here. Lots of bells and whistles, everything just perfectly done. YKK zippers, generally inverted, so you're protecting all of the zipper tracks. Nice webbing and different sort of elastic shock cord keepers and all the organization that you need. But where this comes into play and why we're talking about it for CCW, in this case, you do end up with a Velcro interior, which allows you to put different holsters that can hold a variety of different sizes of handguns. But in my opinion, you're definitely going to stray away from your larger full-size frame and getting into more of a compact design. Tons of little details all the way around. Nice leather patch. Again, for me, I love the black multicam, it's just perfect. But even all the little sort of subtle, and I'm not going to say hidden compartments, but the little things that really allow you to build this out nicely. So in the back, a nice, quality area where you can carry your ID or wallet close to your body. Then as we get to the interior, all the different loop panels, the ability to build this out with some of the essentials. And then on the front, another sort of open pocket here. Now, as you take a look, this is a 210 denier ripstop nylon, again, high vis, and it does have a DWR coating. As you take a look at how I've had this built out in the past, a number of different items. Again, keep in mind the fact that I did not CCW with this. But as you see here, a number of great items for my everyday carry. Now keep in mind the fact that this is the setup I had when I was traveling. So a couple of sets of earbuds, things like my cables and chargers and things that I wanted to have at the ready. Now I did have this set up completely for travel on an airline, so the ability to actually take some of the basic essentials, have them with me at my seat, absolutely awesome. And as you take a look at the overall volume of actual items that I had in here, a good amount of stuff, from chargers and cables and gum and earbuds, my wallet and ID identification and whatnot. Then on top of that, little writing utensils, just a lot of excellent little items that I could have with me while I was in my seat. The key for me being I really did not want to have like a large bag or anything like that I had to manage. So having just enough at the ready while I was at my seat, absolutely fantastic and very easy with the Dendrite. Which at this point does start to change the narrative a little bit. Now here I have my SIG P365XL. Just for the demonstration, this is my carry firearm. Just showing everything clear. Empty magazines. So for the demonstration here, you can see that, well, Vanquest offering a number of different sort of Velcro accessories that do go inside the Dendrite or other bags for that matter that have the Velcro lining on the interior. And these work out very well. Now these are pretty much like a simple holster design, Velcro on the back and adjustable Velcro straps on the front. And I found that I do have the ability to kind of fine tune this and get it to the point where it gives me a little bit of trigger coverage, yet at the same time, you do need to be kind of careful, but I can get my handgun inside here where it can present itself the appropriate way for an efficient draw. Again, you need to be careful, and this is where my lack of experience says, what do all of you do? How do you leverage something like this? So if you've used, a crossbody style or the fanny pack or, whether you call it a sling bag, what do you do to outfit this? How do you get your firearm in and canted the right way with the appropriate coverage and, sort of that trigger coverage that you need, the level of security and safety that of course comes with firearms. So leave some comments below. I'm curious what all of you do. But for me, in keeping in mind the fact that I am right hand dominant, so I carry this over my left shoulder, here you can see basically, and I mean, I don't know, let's be real, if someone's carrying one of these, aren't you pretty much assuming that they're concealed carrying in some way, shape, or form these days? But still, anyway, this I do have the ability to get quickly on what Vanquest calls their Spartan zipper pulls. Real easy right there, fling open, no problem. Presentation of the weapon in and on this. Now, if you're not careful, there is a little bit going on here, so you're going to have to be sort of crafty and careful. And the other thing is, if you're not careful, some of these little sort of gizmos can get in the way. So I think you're pretty much going to have to sort of, separate things out carefully, manage this a little bit to really account for the firearm at this point. But getting in and drawing, no problem. Now that should work pretty well, but keep in mind the fact that there are a couple of different holster designs. This is pretty much the standard holster. If I wanted to go with one that had a little bit of a magazine sleeve, well, at that point I could outfit this, but it does kind of really limit my ability. But let me swap this out real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now the way I found is the easiest to get this installed, kind of get the firearm in where you think it's going to be, carefully reaching in. Setting this all down and into place at about the appropriate angle. and then just making sure everything closes nicely. It's not printing too much. Overall, fairly well conceals the firearm, and at this point opening that up, there you go. Now of course for me, you can see I do have the optic, so it's going to be a little bit funny with the magazine and getting this in there. I do have a bit of a clash. If I had the ability to sort of separate things out, well, that's where you do have the benefit of some of the elastic. Now keeping in mind these do have ammo, so I'm going to be very careful here, but at the same time, now I can actually take my spare magazines, load those across the front. That's going to work pretty well, and I still have access to the firearm. Closing this up. At this point, I could probably, and for me, I have 10-round magazines. I bet you I could easily, without question, carry about 50 rounds all in. 10 rounds in the handgun. If I went +1, that would be 11. Plus, at that point, I have 4 other magazines that I could change out. So capacity-wise, this is actually pretty good. So 51 rounds, I'll take it. But of course, at that point, it does mean that you are fairly limited to what else you can carry in here, especially if you don't want to be banging into your firearm and creating any sort of scuffs or anything like that. And really, more importantly, competition of space for that sort of access, ease of getting on the firearm, and a good positive grip as you withdraw the firearm. So just some things worth considering. Now, a few last little details. Again, we've covered the bulk of everything on the outside, but you do have these awesome buckles. All the buckles on Vanquest products, phenomenal. Duraflex buckles, very easy, quick breakaway, which is nice. You do end up with that beautiful sort of seatbelt material. This is a nice strap. It's flexible. It moves with your body very well, and it has a ton of flexibility in terms of the length of the strap. So different sizes for different bodies and whatnot. They also do a nice job with their keepers. So having these nice little Velcro keepers keeps all the excess at bay, no problem. And then subtle little details, like for example, this actually belt loop does allow you to put this on a belt if you wanted, kind of attach it to different things. So again, Vanquest doing a phenomenal job with the Dendrite, really with all of their products. When you look at the quality of the construction, the features, and really the thought process that goes into these products, they absolutely nail it. But again, the whole premise of this is when it comes to CCW in a crossbody or sling style bag, I'm just limited. So again, all of you, I know you have a ton of great ideas, great comments, things that you've done to set one of these up beautifully. Leave some comments below. I'd love to hear it. And so again, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Vanquest who did provide this for review. And for the rest of you, if you like this content, do me a favor, take a look at my Outer Limitless channel, which is more on my primary gear. On that channel, I cover everything from hiking, camping, and backpacking excursions, all the gear that goes with it. So from sleep systems, shelter systems, knives, axes, backpacks, flashlights, you name it, that's my Outer Limitless channel. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.